Did Julie Chrisley get hit on in prison? Star reveals all. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another video. I hope everyone's having a great day. Before watching the video, please subscribe and like it. Julie Chrisley spent 28 months in federal prison after being indicted by a federal grand jury for 12 counts of wire fraud, conspiracy to commit bank fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the United States. Earlier this year, Julie and her husband, Todd Chrisley, were issued presidential pardons from Donald Trump. However, they are now reunited with their family and settling back into day-to-day life. In addition, Julie recently opened up about her experience in prison. Keep reading to find out more. Julie Chrisley was the mom in prison. Julie Chrisley spent 28 months of a 7-year sentence behind bars at the FNC in Lexington, Kentucky. She was convicted alongside her husband for tax evasion and fraud. However, she was released from prison in May after receiving a presidential pardon. Julie has been taking time to adjust to life outside of prison. She has reunited with her children and settled in at home. In addition, the reality star has started to share details about her prison experience. Fans have been curious about Julie Chrisley's experience in prison. On a recent episode of the Chrisley Confessions 2.0 podcast, Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burruss asked Julie about what she went through. Burruss asked Chrisley if anyone ever hit on her. Julie replied, "Hit on me? No, they really didn't." She further revealed that she was considered the mom of the group she was with. In addition, Chrisley shared that it was to her advantage that people knew her as a matriarch from being featured in Chrisley Knows Best. She explained, "I think people, because of the show, they had this idea, she's everybody's mom. She's the mom." She continued that played to my advantage. The girls felt like I was their mom there. They were on their best behavior. Everybody was sweet to me. Julie Chrisley denies romantic relationship while in prison. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burruss questioned Julie Chrisley about her thoughts on being intimate in prison. Kandi pointed out that Julie was originally sentenced to 7 years behind bars. In addition, Burruss asked Julie, "You were supposed to be in there for 7 years originally, right? That's a long time. You were ready to go the whole 7 years with nothing?" Julie Chrisley didn't hesitate to answer her friend. She explained, "Absolutely, never crossed my mind." In addition, Chrisley has been open about her experience in prison. She explained, "You don't have any control," which is very different from how the reality star had previously lived. As a reality star, she often had everything she wanted. In addition to her candid confession, Chrisley shared the advice she received when she first got to prison. She said, "People told me this when I first got there. You can't live out there and in here at the same time, because it'll literally run you crazy, and that's the truth. The longer you're there, the more removed you become to the world." Julie Chrisley is breaking her silence on one of the most unexpected questions fans have been asking since her release from prison. Did the Chrisley Knows Best matriarch get hit on while serving her sentence? The reality television star, who, along with her husband Todd Chrisley, served time following high-profile convictions, is now sharing candid details about life behind bars and her experiences with fellow inmates. In a raw and revealing conversation, Julie opened up about the emotional challenges of incarceration, the surprising friendships she formed, and the occasional moments that caught her completely off guard. Julie Chrisley has always been known for her polished Southern charm, her calm presence in the midst of family chaos, and her ability to keep her composure no matter what drama unfolded in front of the cameras. But prison was unlike anything she had ever experienced. It was a world stripped of luxury, privacy, and control. And while many fans assumed she would keep to herself during her time there, Julie now admits she was far more visible and approachable than people might think. She recalls being recognized almost immediately by other inmates, some of whom were avid viewers of Chrisley Knows Best. The recognition sometimes led to unexpected attention, including flirtatious remarks from people curious about her life and personality. Julie has been clear that she handled these moments with grace, often deflecting with humor or a polite change of subject. But she also admitted that prison is an intense and often lonely environment, and human interaction becomes an important part of surviving the day-to-day grind. In her own words, the attention was sometimes lighthearted and sometimes awkward, but never crossed a line that made her feel unsafe. This openness from Julie comes as a surprise to some, given that the Chrisley family has often been guarded when it comes to personal matters, especially those that might fuel public gossip. However, she says that after everything she has been through, she no longer feels the need to sugarcoat her experiences. She wants people to understand what life in prison is really like for a public figure who enters that world with a reputation and a fan base. One of the key points she made was that the prison environment is a place where appearances mean very little. Unlike the world outside, where she was accustomed to cameras, lights, and carefully styled outfits, prison life is stripped down to the bare essentials. There was no glam, no hair and makeup team, and no carefully curated image. Just people from all walks of life wrought together by circumstance. In that stripped-down reality, Julie found that people connected on a more human level, and sometimes those connections came with unexpected comments or gestures. Julie's revelations also touched on the idea that celebrity status inside prison can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can lead to friendly interactions and even a degree of protection from those who respect or admire you. On the other hand, it can make you a target for jealousy, rumors, or unwanted attention. Julie says she navigated these waters carefully, leaning on her faith and her innate sense of boundaries to guide her interactions. She admitted that some inmates would joke about shooting their shot or making playful advances, but she was quick to set the tone that she was there to serve her time, focus on her personal growth, and keep her integrity intact. Her approach seemed to earn her respect from many of her fellow inmates. The topic of whether Julie was hit on in prison is more than just gossip fodder. It opens up a conversation about how women, especially public figures, experience incarceration in a system that is often harsh and dehumanizing. Julie's willingness to talk about these moments highlights both the absurdity and the reality of prison life. The fact that such personal interactions can happen in an environment designed to strip away individuality is a reminder of the complexity of human behavior. Julie's account also underscores how isolation can change the dynamics of social interactions in prison. Small gestures, conversations, and even humor take on heightened importance when the rest of your life is controlled by strict routines and limited freedoms. For Julie, being approached or complimented was less about romance and more about the need for connection and distraction in a difficult environment. Still, she acknowledges that it was strange to navigate these interactions, knowing that her every move might be analyzed by people both inside and outside those walls. Her husband, Todd Chrisley, who served time in a separate facility, has also spoken about the unique challenges of being a recognizable face in prison. While their experiences differed, Todd has been supportive of Julie's candidness about her time behind bars. The couple seems committed to pulling back the curtain on their incarceration in order to provide a fuller picture to their fans and to those who may not understand what life is like in the prison system. Now that Julie is out, she is using her platform to shed light on the good, the bad, and the unexpected aspects of her sentence. She has made it clear that while some moments were uncomfortable, others offered surprising opportunities to connect and even laugh. She credits her faith, strong family bonds, and the occasional humor of her fellow inmates for helping her get through some of the most challenging days. Since regaining her freedom, Julie has been working to rebuild her life alongside Todd and the rest of the Chrisley family. She has also been more vocal about criminal justice reform and the importance of mental health support for inmates. Her time in prison not only tested her resilience, but also gave her a unique perspective on issues that affect thousands of women across the country. Whether she was navigating rumors, handling unwanted attention, or simply trying to keep her head down, Julie learned that survival in prison is as much about emotional strength as it is about following the rules. Fans can expect to hear more of Julie's unfiltered stories in upcoming interviews and possibly future television projects. The Chrisleys have hinted at new ventures that will allow them to address their time away from the public eye and the lessons they've learned during those difficult months. For Julie, the question of whether she got hit on in prison might seem trivial compared to the bigger picture, but it is also part of a much larger story about resilience, adaptation, and the human connections that can form even in the most unlikely places. By addressing it directly, she has taken control of the narrative and given fans a rare glimpse into a side of her life they never thought they would see. Julie Chrisley's revelations remind us that even in the most controlled and restrictive environments, human nature has a way of breaking through. Whether it is in the form of friendship, humor, or unexpected attention, people will always find ways to connect. And for Julie, those moments, however surprising, became part of the tapestry of an experience that changed her life forever. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.